Fine. So the problem statement is something like this. Draw the velocity diagram for a stage in an impulse turbine with two rings of moving blades for the following parameters. Nozzle angle is 15 degrees, moving blade tip discharge angle is 30 degrees, fixed blade discharge angle is 20 degrees, final discharge is axial. Friction loss per blade is 10% of the relative velocity. It occurs both on the fixed and moving blades. Find the blade velocity for nozzle stream exit for the nozzle stream exit velocity of 500 meters per second, and the diagram efficiency is 30. But once again, the vane efficiency. That's what they tell. So it's also called as diagram efficiency or vane efficiency. Okay, let's try to solve this. Write the data, and then we'll put the your what we call it as velocity diagram. So already I have drawn the velocity diagram. Just I'll try to explain it. So what is there given? Alpha 1 initially, that is data. Alpha 1 is equal to 15 degrees. Okay, so if this is my first stage rotor, okay, and this is my second stage rotor. Okay, first stage rotor, second stage rotor. And the moving blade angle tip discharge, that is blade angle. Moving blade angle tip discharge means, see, you have hub and tip actually. Hub is the inlet, tip is the exit actually. So it is beta 2. Beta 2 is equal to 30 degrees. Okay. Now, this being an impulse machine, so therefore, your beta 1 will be equal to beta 2. Let me write that. It is for the impulse machine, first stage. Now, what will happen? From the first rotor, first stage, it will go to the next stage. So, fixed blade discharge angle, that means there is a stator in between your first rotor and the second rotor, and its exit angle is 20 degrees. That is your alpha 3, what we call it as alpha 3. Okay, that is your, this is for the first rotor stage, and this is your alpha 3, this is 20 degrees. Then further they are telling final discharge is axial. That means it is alpha 4 or something, it is exactly 90 degrees. That's the meaning of it. 90 degrees, that is axial. That is in the flow direction. See, in the flow direction, it is the flow is in the flow direction. That's the meaning of it. Then they given some friction fraction is 10% of it. So it is 1 minus 0.1, that is 0.9 is the friction coefficient. See, find the blade velocity for a nozzle steam exit velocity, that is your V1 is around 500 meters per second. So what are the things which you have to find? You have to find the blade velocity, you have to find the diagram efficiency, all these things you have to find it. Now, for the first stage rotor, you have to calculate, you have to calculate. V1 they are given. Okay, V1 they are given, you have to calculate your U. Then how to calculate U? You have to you have to make some assumption. You have to make some assumption here. What is the assumption actually? The assumption is for phi actually. That is blade speed ratio. There are two things actually. When you're making assumption, there are two things. One is, that's why I took this problem. Assume phi is equal to some point. It should be less than 0.46 or something. Let's assume some 0.45. Or, so we have found some formula already with this. Pi max is equal to cos alpha 1. Okay, what is your alpha 1? Alpha 1 is, I can write it, they give us 20, 15, sorry. So cos 15, if I put it, I am getting around, so your pi maximum I can go is up to 0.965. I can assume any value between less than 0.965, I can do it. So that is the maximum value. You can verify and cross check. So I have taken some 0.45, or you can take 0.5 also, doesn't matter. So it's slightly like an open-ended kind of a problem for a PG students. So assume with 0.4, assume with 0.5, assume with 0.55, but the maximum value is 0.965, which can be obtained from phi max is equal to cos alpha 1, which is 0.965. Okay. Once you assume this point phi is equal to 0.45, okay, what is phi? Phi is equal to u divided by v1, or your u is equal to phi into v1. So if I take 0.45, how much it will be? 0.45. If you want, you can take 0.5 also, doesn't matter. If you take 0.5, your v1 will be u will be half of your 500 meters. So any value you can take. So let me go with 0.45 only. 0.45 into 500. Okay, if I do that, so my value of u will be around 225 meters per second. 225 meters per second. Any value you can take it. But ensure that whatever the value you are taking, it is less than 0.965. Now, from this, what else we need to find? So once you find this, actually, we know the cos alpha 1, we know this thing. So VW1, or cos alpha 1 is equal to, from the inlet velocity triangle, from the inlet velocity triangle, okay, from the inlet velocity triangle, cos alpha 1 is equal to VW1 by V1, or your VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1, so which is 500 into cos 15. So I'm getting around 482.96 meters per second. So similarly, what is sin alpha 1? Sin alpha 1 is equal to Vf1 by V1, or Vf1 is equal to V1 sin alpha 1, or 500 into sin 15. So it is 129.4 meters per second. Okay. Now I need to find VR1, VR2 and all. Okay. Now let us consider the inlet velocity triangle and apply the cosine rule. VR1 square is equal to, so by using V1 and U and alpha, I can find VR1 using the formula. What is the formula? Cosine rule formula. VR1 square is equal to V1 square plus U square minus 2U V1 U cos alpha 1. Okay. Applying the cosine rule, for the inlet velocity triangle. Applying the cosine rule, it is VR1 square is equal to V1 square plus U square minus 2V1 U cos alpha 1. Now all the values I know. We know V1, we know U, we know alpha 1, everything else substitute, I'll get VR1. So therefore, VR1 square is equal to V1 is 500 plus 225 square minus 2 into 500 into 225 into cos 15, and take the square root of it, of that particular value, you will get your VR1. Okay, can you tell this number? Anyone?
288.61.
288.61. 288.61 meters per second. Others also please verify this number. Okay. Now, what is the CD friction factor? Which is VR2 by VR1, which is of 0.9. So therefore, VR2 is equal to 0.9 times of VR1, or 0.9 into 288.61. Okay. How much is it?
259.74.
Okay, 259.749. So I can write it as 259.75. So I got my VR1, I got my VR2. So this is the inlet velocity triangle. So whatever we did for the first stage yesterday, I am doing the same thing, but here I am doing it for, so see why I took the first stage, see single stage turbine yesterday, graphical method or your regular method and all. First, you have to get used to calculate, because same for maybe methodologies are adopted. So do it for first stage, then we'll go to the second stage. Then add up everything. So whether it's a 3 stage or 4 stage, the procedure remains the same. Whatever the procedure I'm doing, that procedure you have to just simply adapt and you should be able to do it. Is that clear? Now consider the exit velocity triangle. Okay, consider the exit triangle, that is from the outlet velocity triangle. From the outlet velocity triangle. Okay, what we have to do from the outlet velocity triangle, let us write the things. Whatever we did for the inlet velocity triangle, we'll try to write it for the exit velocity triangle also. Let's try for cos beta 2. So let's go to the thing. Cos beta 2 is equal to, okay, cos beta 2 is equal to VW2 plus U2. Okay, cos beta 2 is equal to VW2 plus U divided by your VR2. Then what is your sin beta 2? Sin beta 2 is equal to VF2 divided by, see, VF2 divided by VR2. VF2 divided by VR2. Just try to do that. From the exit velocity triangle or outlet velocity triangle, cos beta 2 is equal to VW2 plus U divided by VR2. Okay. Then substitute everything. So now, what are the values we have actually here? We just know, we see, we need, we have found out VR2 and we know U. So what is your beta 2? Beta 2 angle is given 30 degrees. So substitute all the things and find the VW2. Okay, substitute all the things and find the beta 2. Now let us go and find that. So therefore, let's try to substitute it. So cos 30 is equal to VW2 is the unknown, VW2 plus 225 divided by VR2, just now we found it is 259.75. Okay, what is my VW2? Please calculate and tell me. 259.72 into cos 30 plus 2 minus 225.
Minus 0.05.
Yes, minus 0.05. That means the direction what we have taken, see, this will come, see, I will try to write in a different color. Okay, what it will be now? It will be something like this. It will be in this direction. Your velocity triangle will be in this direction. It will be slightly in this direction. This will be a new velocity triangle. Otherwise, let me put it in dotted lines, broken lines. Okay, your velocity triangle will look something like this. Okay, this will be your velocity triangle. There is a slight change in your velocity triangle, because you know from this actually we are getting VW2 is in opposite direction. So that's why if you do it in a graphical method, automatically you'll get it. But when you're going by trigonometric principles, most of the times whatever we have written, that may be correct. Sometimes we end up with this very small value that clearly indicates that your VF2 is in opposite direction. Okay, VW2 is in opposite direction. So it is VW2 plus U divided by your VR2. From that we got it. Now let's go and find the sin beta 2. What is your sin beta 2? Sin beta 2 is equal to VF2 divided by VR2. I don't know the value of VF2. I need to find VF2. So therefore, VF2 is equal to VR2 into sin beta 2. So VR2 is 259.75 into sin 30. VF2. Okay. 259.75 into sine 30. So it is 129.875 meters per second. So I got my VF2, I got my your VW2. Okay. I don't know the value of alpha here. I can find alpha. What will be your alpha? Just take tan alpha 2. Tan alpha 2 is equal to opposite by adjacent. That is VF2 divided by your VW2. Okay. Now substitute for this. Take tan inverse of it, you will get your alpha 2. Okay. Alpha 2 is equal to, that is tan alpha 2 is equal to, your opposite side is VF2 divided by VW2, or alpha 2 is equal to, I can write alpha 2 is equal to tan inverse of, okay, 0.05 divided by 129.875. 0.05 divided by 129.875. Sorry, 129.875 divided by 0.05. I think I wrote opposite. 129.875 divided by 0.05.
89.97, sir.
Yes, that means roughly around 90 degrees. Okay, 89.97, slightly. It is slight 977, something like that we are getting now. So 89.89 degrees. Okay, 98 degrees. That is, I can clearly look at this alpha, no? Look at this alpha, you look at this particular thing, where it is. This alpha is what I'm speaking of, alpha 2, which comes in other side of it. Okay, that alpha is closely to 90 degrees. Closely to 90 degrees. It is not exactly going axially, but it's near axial. So at exit anyhow, in the problem statement they are given that at the exit it is purely axial. Even in first stage also we are getting axial conditions. Okay, even in the first stage also we are getting axial conditions. So both the ways. So now if you go back and check the values. Okay, what are the values you have to? Okay, what are the values you have to check it actually? So you have to, alpha 2 is found. Now let us go to the, so this is how what we have done for the first stage. Now let us look at the second row or second stage. See, you have alpha 2, and from there your alpha, see there is V2 to V3, there is a connection. But in the problem statement, that means they are given that friction loss per blade, that is, it is not only between your relative this thing, it's also with respect to your CB is equal to, it is V3 by V2 for the second row. Then CB is 0.9, the friction factor is 10% loss, so 0.9. 0.9 into, what is your V2? We have V2 we have found actually. So V2 is equal to, yeah, V2 we have to find. Yeah, V2 we have to find. So V2 we have to find. From V2, we should able to get the value of your V3. Okay. From V2, so V2 we can find. So V2 is equal to, so from this particular thing I can find. Your maybe you can find from your alphas or something. Okay. You can take cos alpha. Okay. So any of the cos alpha or tan alpha you can take it, and sorry, cos alpha or sin alpha, you will get your V2. V2 will be getting it. Okay. So let me write that. So what is your cos alpha? Cos alpha 2 is equal to your adjacent, that is adjacent is VW2 divided by your V2, or your V2 is equal to VW2 by cos alpha 2. So VW2 is 0.09. See, I am going positive. This is in, just I am writing it as opposite direction because I have changed my velocity triangle. So this is cos 89.977, something like that. So it is 98. Okay, so your V2 is equal to 0.98. So it is around 143.24 meters per second. I got my V2. Now there is a friction between your first rotor to second rotor. Okay, there is a friction between your first rotor and second rotor. What should I do actually? I should go and check for the, what is it actually? I should go and check for what is happening there. See, this is, they see, one particular thing, there should be a smooth transition without any, shock. Okay, without any shock. But there can be friction. There can be friction do
Okay,
exist.
so
Sir,
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು.
I think there is a, difference in the answer. I got 95.49.
95, huh? 0.04 divided by cos 89.978. Huh? Did you 977?
97.
Yeah, that's a difference. I rounded off 977 something, no? Okay,
Okay.
if you use that, yeah, it's a very, yeah, cos 89.977. Yeah, you're getting around, no, 124. 124 you're getting, no? Yeah, I know it. 977, you're getting 124. If you put 98, I'm rounding off that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I rounded off to 98, so I'm getting it actually. Slight value changes a lot. Huh? Okay, now there's a friction here. So CB is equal to, this is for the second row. This is V3 by V2, or V3 is equal to CB into, this is like an open-ended, little bit slightly open-ended kind of a problem. This is CB into V2, or I can write 0.9 into is equal to 0.9 into 143.24, 0.9 into 143.24. So this is around 128.916 meters per second. So I got my V3. Okay. At the same time, see, if you want, you can find V2 in other form also. See, V2 can also be found from VWC. If you go back, this is a right angle triangle. Look at this. This is a right angle triangle. I can find VW2 square plus VF2 square. That also I can do it. You go back and check it both the ways. VW2 is equal to 0.05 square plus your VF2 is 129.875 square. So both the way you can find your V2. Square root of it, I am getting around 129.87. If I try to, so roughly around nearer to VF2 we are getting, because VW2 is 0.05, I can go with it. So let me retain this 0.977 actually. 97, that will be a very close thing. 977. So this will be nearer to 120. So how much is it? 129, huh? How much are you getting? 129. Roughly around 129.87 actually. So 143 means if you round off, I am getting a higher value. Let me go with let me round off it. 129.87 into 875. 875 into 0.9. So 127.89. 129 is equal to 116.89 meters per second. So all little bit of decimals, all these things are changing. That's fine. It's not a little bit of open-ended kind of, because all depends on your value of phi, what I assume. So any of phi max you are calculating, which is found to be 0.965, I have taken as 0.45. You could have, when someone else can take 0.5, someone else can take 0.6. So there is no restriction on it. You take the value and you have to justify. I have taken 0.45. Okay. Now V3 is equal to CB into V2. Now from the second stage velocity triangle, let us go to this particular triangle. Here also I need to find VW. So VW3 and VW4. Okay, VW3 and VW4 is 0 because it's axial. So I need to find only VW3. If I'm able to find VW3, I can easily find the work done, and I can easily find the blade efficiency or vane efficiency or your what we call a diagram efficiency, everything I can find it. So consider the inlet triangle for the second rotor or second stage. So what we can do, if you see here, they are told that your here also, and see, it's an impulse machine, your beta 3 is equal to beta 4, whatever it can be. I know my V3. What is your alpha 3? Alpha 3 is 20. So from that, I have to find it. So VW3 is equal to V3 into cos alpha 3. It's a straightforward. Okay, it's a straightforward. So from the inlet velocity triangle, from the inlet velocity triangle for the second rotor or second stage, from that particular thing, I can write your cos alpha 3 is equal to VW3 by V3, or VW3 is equal to V3 cos alpha 3. Okay, V3 cos alpha 3, or what is your V3? V3 just now you found it is 116.89 into cos 20. So therefore VW3 is equal to 116.89 into cos 20. So we are getting roughly around 109.84 meters per second. See, I need VW4 to see what is the work done actually. It is VW1 minus VW2 into U plus. So look at this first stage. VW1 minus VW2 into U for the first stage plus VW3 minus VW4 into U for the second stage. So that will give the work done. So total work done in both the stages. Okay, total work done. Total work done in both the stages. What is it actually? It is total W is equal to work done from the first stage, work done from the second stage and second rotor. So what will be the formula? This will be VW1 minus VW2. So here I have to retain VW2 as minus because they are coming in same direction, because it was minus 0.05. So that's why I have to retain that, plus, sorry, any U I have to do, then we will take U outside, into U plus VW3 minus VW4 into U. Now, as the flow is axial at the exit, VW4 is directly 0. So now I can write U as common. I can write VW1 minus VW2 plus VW3. This will be the formula to find the work done. And now let's substitute all the things. What is your U? U value is 225 and VW1 is 482.96. Okay, U value is 225. This is 489.26. 26 minus 0.05 plus 109.84. This will be your work done. 489.26 minus 0.05. Anyways, not much difference. So that's a very small value into 225. So divided by. So it's around 134.78 or 79. 134.78 0.79 kilojoules per kg. This is your work done. Then what is your blade efficiency or diagram efficiency? Diagram efficiency, or it is also called as vane efficiency, blade efficiency, whatever it may be, all are same. That is work done by inlet kinetic energy. That is total work done by the kinetic energy available at the inlet. W by V1 square. So what is your W? Just now we have found it is 134.79 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by, what is my V1? It is 500 square. 500 square by, so that is my efficiency. So how much is it? 500 square, how much it is? V1 is 500. So efficiency 134.79 power of 3. I'm getting around more than 100%. Okay, this is somewhere things have gone wrong. So we have to go with 0.6. We go with 0.6, what will happen? We go with 5 is equal to 0.6. So 0.5 means 0.5 into 500, it is around 250. So yeah, you can go with a number, not 0.45, you can go with some 0.5, doesn't matter. If you go with 0.5 instead of 0.45, then things are going to change. 500 into this particular thing, so then U value will be 250. So 500 square plus 250 square minus 2 into 500 into 250 into cos 15. Okay, it's around. Okay, so then so 266. Things are going to change. You will get a number. I think if I go with a 5 value of 0.5 or 0.6, maybe this efficiency may come less than 1 or 100%. It's an open-ended kind of a problem. That's why I took this particular thing. Open-ended problems will be like this only. Open-ended problems, you have to make some assumptions and you have to solve it. Okay. Now the same problem, what I use actually, you try with different numbers for this phi. Phi is equal to 0.6 or 0.7 or whatever. You can go maximum is 0.965. And someone can try for 0.965 and the others can try with any number after 0.5 or 0.6. Then do the same exercise using graphically. Okay, you doing graphically also, you can try. Okay, I'm going to upload the problem numerical sheet actually. What you try to do is actually, there is one problem number 13, very similar to your problem 12. Okay, there is a problem 13. So you can try this problem also. It's something like this. A velocity compounded impulse wheel has 2 rows of moving blades with a mean diameter of 700 mm. The speed of rotation is 3000 rpm. The nozzle angle is 16 degrees and the estimated steam velocity at the nozzle outlet is 610 meters per second. The mass of steam passing through the blades per second is 6.5 kg per kg. Okay, that is 6.5 kg per second. Assuming that the energy loss in each row of blades moving at fixed is 24% of the kinetic energy. Okay, it is 24% of the kinetic energy. What you have to do, you should see your loss is CB square. So that is 24% means the efficiency is 0.76. The CB square, that is of VR2 square by VR1 square. That's the meaning of it. 24% of the kinetic energy of the steam entering the blades and referred to as velocity. Okay, it is going with respect to the related, that is Cb square. Cb you have to find it actually. It is not 0.76. It is square root of 0.76 because your kinetic energy is square of your velocities. Square of your velocities. That's one thing. Then so the first row of what you are supposed to do, the first row of the moving blades are 18 degrees. Intermediate guide blade angles are 22 degrees. Then the second row of moving blades is 38 degrees. Draw the velocity diagrams and calculate the following: blade inlet angles, power developed in each row of blades, efficiency of the wheel as a whole. Okay. I want you people to solve this problem. As a hint, I'm going to give you this velocity diagrams. You can take these velocity diagrams and you can solve. One hint I can give you here is actually, other than this, so what is it actually? Solution, you write all the data, what is given. D is equal to some 0.7, all those things. The hint is your, which is loss efficiency, that is frictional loss is 0.76, which is actually Cb square of Vr2 square by Vr1 square. Okay, then what is your Cb? Cb is equal to, okay, your Cb is equal to square root of 0.76. So if I take it, actually I'm getting around 0.872. What I want is you people, then your Cb, one more clue I can give is actually, this is Vr2 by Vr1. At the same time, there is a second stage, V3 by V2, which is passing actually. Then Vr4 by Vr3. So this is the thing what is given in your problem. I want you people to solve this problem. Okay, I want you people to solve this problem, and maybe one more assignment also I'll try to give. So you people solve this problem, and both using the trigonometric principles as well as